Deep in the forests, mountains, and remote wilderness of North America, there are stories that refuse to fade. For decades, witnesses from all walks of life, hunters, hikers, police officers, and ordinary families, have reported encounters with a creature that doesn't fit into any known category of wildlife. These are not campfire tales told for fun, but experiences that left people shaken, confused, and forever changed. Here are 5 Bigfoot encounters so incredible, they continue to haunt those who lived through them. One of the most chilling encounters occurred in 1967 at Bluff Creek, California. Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin were riding horses along a remote creek bed when they noticed a large, upright figure walking across a sandbar. Patterson jumped off his horse and began filming as the creature turned, briefly looked toward the camera, and then calmly walked into the forest. What makes this encounter so disturbing isn't just the famous footage, but the details both men later shared. They described the creature as over 7 feet tall, massively built, and covered in dark hair, yet moving with a strangely natural, fluid stride. Gimlin later said the horses were terrified, refusing to move forward, and that the forest went eerily silent after the creature disappeared. Decades later, experts still argue over the footage, but neither man ever recanted their story. Another encounter took place in the dense forests of Washington's Olympic Peninsula, where a family camping trip turned into a nightmare. Late one night, the parents were awakened by heavy footsteps circling their tent. At first, they assumed it was a bear, but then they heard deep, guttural breathing and the sound of something sniffing the fabric of the tent. Suddenly, a powerful blow struck the side, knocking one of the tent poles loose. Frozen in fear, the family listened as whatever was outside let out a low, rumbling growl that seemed almost intelligent. After several minutes that felt like hours, the footsteps retreated into the woods. At dawn, they found enormous footprints around the campsite, far larger than any bear track, with clearly defined toes. The family packed up immediately and never returned to the area. In 1974, a group of construction workers in Pennsylvania experienced something they struggled to explain. While working on a remote road project, they noticed a tall, hairy figure standing at the edge of the tree line, watching them. Assuming it was a prank or someone in a costume, one of the men shouted at it. In response, the creature let out a piercing scream that echoed through the valley, causing several workers to drop their tools. One man claimed the sound felt like it vibrated through his chest. The figure then stepped fully into view, revealing massive shoulders and long arms that hung nearly to its knees. It took several slow steps forward before suddenly turning and disappearing into the forest. Multiple workers later reported nightmares and anxiety, and the crew refused to continue working without armed security. Perhaps one of the most unsettling encounters happened in the mountains of British Columbia, where a lone hunter found himself being stalked. Over the course of several hours, he noticed rocks being thrown from the tree line, always landing just ahead of him as he moved. He heard heavy footsteps matching his pace and occasional deep vocalizations that sounded almost like words, but not quite. When he finally saw the creature, it was standing on a ridge above him, silhouetted against the sky. He described it as enormous, at least 8 feet tall, with glowing eyes that reflected the fading light. The hunter slowly backed away, keeping his rifle raised, but the creature never attacked. Instead, it followed him until he reached his truck, then vanished. The man later said he believed the creature was intentionally herding him out of its territory. One of the most famous and controversial Bigfoot encounters occurred in 1924 near Mount St. Helens, known as the Ape Canyon Incident. A group of miners claimed they were attacked overnight by multiple large, ape-like creatures. According to their account, the creatures surrounded their cabin, throwing rocks, pounding on the walls, and attempting to break in. The men fired their weapons in self-defense, but the attack continued for hours. At one point, they claimed a creature tried to tear the roof off. When morning came, the miners fled the area, later reporting large footprints and damaged structures. Skeptics argue the men were exaggerating or mistaken, but the sheer intensity and consistency of their stories have kept the case alive for over a century. What makes these encounters so compelling isn't just the idea of an unknown creature, but the emotional impact they leave behind. Witnesses often report a sense of being watched, an overwhelming fear, and a feeling that the creature possesses intelligence and awareness. Many say they never wanted to believe in Bigfoot, but their experiences forced them to reconsider everything they thought they knew about the natural world. Whether Bigfoot is an undiscovered species, a relic of ancient times, or something stranger still, these encounters continue to raise unsettling questions. How could such a large creature remain hidden for so long? Why do sightings often occur in the most remote and rugged regions? And perhaps most chilling of all, how many encounters go unreported because the witnesses are too afraid to speak. If even a fraction of these stories are true, then something is out there, watching from the shadows, leaving footprints, screams, and unforgettable memories behind. And the next time you step into the deep woods, you might wonder whether you're truly alone.